name is Mary with MerryMaking Crafts, and welcome to my Christmas premiere. Now normally I am a diamond painter and I make fun diamond painting accessories and sometimes have the time to diamond paint, but in this video we're not going to be doing any of that. We're going to be just hanging out together for the next hour while I take you. My original goal in this video was to take you around the sights of downtown Chicago on a couple of little Christmas excursions that we went on. So the first few clips that you're going to see here were from the Christmas market downtown, which traditionally German markets are a nice fun place to get yummy food and beautiful ornaments and shop and have a great time. But our market was so incredibly crowded that we really didn't get much footage. We went in, we got a croissant and a hot chocolate, and we left. So that was pretty much the extent of it. So I have two little clips here for you. And then after that, I went to a show with a friend of mine where I wasn't allowed to do any filming. So that was another thing where I was like, oh, I would really love to take you guys along on this show, but alas, I wasn't allowed to do any filming. So you'll see a few clips there of the show and of just the beginning of sitting down in the theater and getting ready for that show. So from there, we went to an immersive Harry Potter exhibit, and that was an absolute blast. So obviously there's going to be like a voiceover component to a lot of what you're gonna see here tonight. And I'm just gonna kind of walk you along on what our experience was and what we thought about it. But it was really cute. It was a little kitschy, but we really enjoyed the experience and it was pretty lovely overall. So, but my favorite experience this year was kind of a 2-for-1 deal. And those are the last clips that you're gonna see. We're actually the zoo lights here in Chicago. So every year, the Lincoln Park Zoo, which is free admission to everyone, which I love, year-round, free admission year-round to the Lincoln Park Zoo. So if you're ever in Chicago, it's a really great way to spend a day. But at the Lincoln Park Zoo, they set up every single year, they set up Christmas lights all throughout the zoo, around the exhibits and the main areas and the main walkways, and you can literally just walk through and really just enjoy the Christmas lights. So my goal was to take you along with me there, and we actually happened to see from start to finish as well, a live ice sculpture being created. So I had lots of questions for the woman a woman ice sculpturist. Heck yes, it was so cool. I had lots of questions for the ice sculpturist, and I am not sure how those are going to translate to video, but what I figured I would do was, again, a voiceover from all of the things that she was telling us, because it was a really cool experience and I learned so much. It's such an interesting art form and such an interesting craft, and I'm excited that I get to share it with you guys. From there, that was all the footage I had, was about a half an hour's worth of taking you around and hanging out downtown. So after that, I showed you guys how to wrap some gifts. So this is one of the gifts that I wrapped and showed you how to make this cute little matching bow out of wrapping paper. And then I also showed you how to wrap some gifts that are maybe not so normally shaped. So you have like a little bag that you can put them in. So I just figured I would share my tips and tricks for wrapping gifts. And I hope that you find them helpful and enjoyable, and that you enjoyed hanging out with me for the next hour. Yeah. So yeah, I'll see you later and throughout all the clips that you're about to watch right now. All right, starting us off strong. Here is that Christmas market I talked about. Now, this would have been delightfully beautiful and lovely had it been less crowded. But, you know, what are you going to do? We did have some hot cocoa that you'll see here, and we, you know, just enjoyed that while it was chilly and did the best we could to shop around, but that was the extent of it. Next up, I have kind of a slow-mo clip here, just showing you the beautiful, beautiful theater that we saw at the Jinx and De La holiday show at. If you are not familiar with RuPaul's Drag Race, that is two beautiful, wonderful, amazing drag queens that put on a show, and it was super cute, really silly, and just a really delightful experience. We had amazing, amazing seats too. This next clip is actually just a Chicago city skyline that I happened to see in a mall, and it is made entirely out of Legos. And I just thought that was pretty much the coolest thing ever, so I had to show y'all. That's really all there is to this clip. Now this next clip is just some beautiful architecture downtown Chicago, and we're heading up the elevator now to That's an escalator, y'all. Heading up to the Harry Potter Magic at Play exhibit here in Chicago. It's technically in a mall, but I don't know. This is Water Tower Place in downtown Chicago. Doesn't feel like a mall. Anyway, here we are entering Privet Drive. And we have all of the letters coming out of the ceiling, and it was just kind of crazy. But this is basically a slide. I don't know. You could kind of sort of peek in to see Harry Potter's thing. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we rode the boats, you know, heading to Hogwarts. And, you know, information about being a Hufflepuff, because Hufflepuffs are the best. Just kidding. But I am a Hufflepuff. Or a Gryffindor. And those are the only two that I was able to get because people were standing in front of the other ones. Anyway. Yeah. No, it was an enjoyable experience, you know, albeit a little bit crowded, but it was kind of cool. Kind of made me feel like I was sort of walking down the halls of Hogwarts. I don't know. It was a little hokey. Here I am. Something Leviosa. Wingardium, is that how you say it? Wingardium Leviosa. Clearly, this was rigged, and I did not make this cool thing fly. But you will also see that I have my Hufflepuff sweater on, because I'm looking amazing. Yeah. Potions class. We went to potions class and got to stir this little potion bucket here. Again, you know, just a little hokey. It seems like it was maybe made for kids over adults, but, you know, I'm a Harry Potter fanatic, so I loved it. And then we have the little fairies escaping their little... I thought this was some pretty cool theatrics, and it was neat to walk through. This was their version of Quidditch, which I'm not sure. I guess the idea is to be fast, like you're catching the snitch. But I did score higher than anyone else who played by themselves as we were watching. So that's why I'm showing you this, because I'm awesome. No, I'm totally kidding. But I did do pretty well. I don't know. I guess I have decent reflexes. Anyway, this is a very long clip to share with you, but I'm gonna let you just watch me make a fool of myself anyway. Next up, we have, this was pretty stinking cool. So y'all know my fascination with Legos, and we've just been very obsessed with Legos lately. So what you're able to do here is make your own, essentially, Lego character that is also Harry Potter. So we inputted, you know, everything from skin color, hair color, whatever you want your face shape to be, your, you know, your Hogwarts house. Of course, I picked Hufflepuff because I am a Hufflepuff. And we got to do all the things and pick all the things. And then it made our own little character that you will see here in just a moment. it will kind of animate and come to life. So here I am, you know, picking out some hair because I'm bald right now. There I am. Look how cute. But it was really cool just to be able to like go through and pick everything. But we just like this cute little happy face. And then you get to pick an accessory too. And lots of people were picking like the witch's hat. And, you know, I picked a cat because who would I be if I didn't pick out a cat? Anyway, it was pretty cool. We did wait in lines for a lot of this stuff. So, you know, hokey as it may be, you know, they did a really good job of managing like the crowd control while you were there. So it didn't feel like it was totally, you know, person upon person upon person. But I will say it's probably just not something I would do again, right? That's fair. Anyway, here I am just picking my scene. You got to pick like Hogsmeade or Christmas at Hogwarts or whatever you wanted. And I don't even remember what I ended up going with. I think I ended up going with the Christmas theme. Maybe. Or Hogsmeade? Hogwarts Holidays. Which one did I pick? No, I picked Hogsmeade. Yes. Anyway. So then it calls you up to your little mirror up there and you get to walk up there and it tracks your movements and it shows you your final little character, and it's pretty stinking cute. So now it's calling me up there, and then David turned the camera. So if you hang on just a second, I do have another clip of the camera being turned the correct way. So, but either way, you can just watch this and hang out. One of the things we did get to try was butterbeer. We took one of those home with us, and if you've never tried butterbeer, or if you like butterscotch things, butterbeer is amazing. It was absolutely delicious, and I wish I could go to Hogsmeade and try the real butterbeer. But yeah. It was very good, and I really love butterscotch things. So this next part was us walking through a super creepy forest with a black light. I am talking to the camera here, but there's like Hogwarts type music in the background that I don't think I would probably get in trouble for sharing with you. But this part looked creepier on the video than it actually was in real life. It was just kind of silly, but you got to point your black light and look for things. And then this was me picking up a pumpkin out of oh my goodness, Hagrid's pumpkin patch. And Hagrid's little hut and more of his pumpkins. There was also a hedge maze that we got to walk through, which was kind of cool. It wasn't too dizzying. We were able to make our way through it pretty easily, despite what David's making it out to be in this clip. But yeah, we were able to get through pretty easily. And then we had a really good giggle at this little funhouse mirror because it made us look very squatty. And I don't know, I just laughed. But there were lots of pieces to this. There was, you know, the big tree in the center, and yeah, it was cute. It wasn't too scary. We made our way through. One point you could look through Luna's classes and see some random stuff, and then these random little ears were actually playing music that you could hear as well. But yeah, that's about it for the hedge maze, maybe. Yeah, we made our way out. And then this right here is the very last clip of the Hogwarts destination. Okay, so checking back in with you now that you have seen the Hogwarts exhibits and you've seen some of the markets. Just want to check in with you and see where you're at. So I'm curious if any of you guys have ever been to any of the Christmas markets in your cities or towns. If they're anything like ours, where they're literally so crowded you can't move or enjoy it. And I hate to like be a naysayer because I really do love the idea of the Christmas markets. I just wasn't able to find this one very enjoyable. So I'm curious, you know, if you, and especially like if you live outside the US, are your markets actually, like, are they that crowded to the point where you literally can't move? Because this was like, it was so wall to wall people that like you would stand and try to look at something and you were getting bumped and like people were trying to move. So it was just not, it was unfortunately not a fun experience. But I'm just curious, like I said, if you are not in the US, if your markets are anything like that, or if they're a little less crowded. So from there, as far as the Hogwarts experience, if you had one of these in your town, did you go, or did you like it, or do you think that you would have liked it? We ended up spending quite a bit of money to do, like, they have like picture ops like throughout, almost like they do at Disney, you know, except like someone takes the picture for you, you know. And so they had a few of those, like one where you're basically like riding on a Quidditch broom and a few other things, like with a green screen behind you so it looks like you're flying. It's silly. Anyway, so they had one of those, and they took pictures throughout, and you know, really just showed, like, you know, they really just, it was a, what's the word for it? It felt like a money grab, but it was really fun. It was really cute. But yeah, so we ended up spending a ton of money at the end so that we could get the digital copies of our photos. Yeah, it was silly. Anyway, is that something that you guys would like to do, or that you guys would even find fun? Or is it just like, you're glad you saw it and you're glad you don't have to spend the money on it? Anyway, let me know. So next up we have, we go to one of our favorite pizza places before we go to the Zoo Lights every year. And so I kind of took you along there for pizza and wings. And then there's some clips in here where I actually am able to talk to you. So, you know, I'll make sure that I share those here throughout, and you just enjoy it. And some of the lights actually do play to music. So I'm going to do what I can to throw in just a little bit of holiday music in here. I know I can't put in actual Christmas songs because, yeah, so we'll see what we can do. So starting here, I just have the vibe at our favorite pizza place, and just kind of showing the decorations. It's so pretty. Anyway, we got some really delicious buffalo wings, and our pizza had ham and pineapple on it. And, you know, I know it's a divisive topic, but I truly, firmly believe that pineapple belongs on pizza. So fight me in the comments. So we just finished our meal at our pizza place here in the city, and now we are heading toward the zoo. It's like a half-mile walk, I think. And then, yeah, so we're gonna go to the Zoo Lights and check those out. So I just wanted to share, just had our pizza and it was delicious, and I'm full, and that is a very big building. Okay, see you in a bit. Hi, David. It's been so long since I've been downtown. I forgot that they lit up the top of the buildings in red and green for the holiday. It's so pretty. But we're about to walk through Lincoln Park right now, and I can see some lights up that way. So we're close. So behind me is a tent that we came in at on the side entrance, and it is a lot less crowded than it usually is, so I'm kind of confused. But there's like a little pond here that I'm kind of standing over, and you can kind of get almost a view of like the main central area of the zoo. But we're going to take you around and show you everything. I just kind of wanted to show you a quick little pan, if you will. You can see the pretty city buildings, and the way that Chicago is situated, to the left we have our city, and then to the south of us as well is the big portion of the city. You can see all your skyscrapers back there, but then now I'm looking north, and then to my right is actually the lake. So it's very windy tonight, and Fun fact, Chicago is not called the Windy City because of the actual wind. It's called the Windy City because of politics and the way that rumors and lies would spread in the past. And so that is actually where Chicago got the name Windy City. But anyway, it also lives up to its name in terms of the the wind at the lake. Anyway, this right here is just like a little children's light maze, and I won't be going in there, but we'll be walking by it here in a sec. But nothing much to see there. It's really for little kids, but we'll get you to the fun parts here really soon. And here we have Bessie the cow that started the Great Chicago Fire. I actually don't know if that's why they put that cow there, but they do have a petting zoo close to here, so that might be why there were farm animal lights. But yeah, and actually we don't actually know that that's the truth either, David, that the cow started the fire. It is a legend, but we don't know that is actually truth. So now that you got a break from my voice for a little bit and got to check out the pretty lights, you might want to wait on this next part, maybe fast forward through it, I don't know, because we are about to embark on an adventure, which is riding this Ferris wheel. So if you're scared of heights, I am sorry, but we just decided to do it. So for a couple bucks, I think it was $4 a person, we got on this Ferris wheel. When I tell you, it was absolutely 1000% terrifying. I mean it. So in front of me here is the lake that I was talking about before. Beautiful view of the parking lot, and then a really cool view of, the city and the lights, but terrifying nonetheless. I was like going as close as I could to the middle of this pole and basically just like holding on to it. And this was not even us at the very top. So we did eventually make our way around the very top. But yeah, here we are just dangling. Very terrifying, but absolutely beautiful. Look at the city. Ugh, look at my city of Chicago. I love this city. Love it so much. And I fall more and more in love with it every time I get to see it like that. But yeah, here we are just, hanging out on this Ferris wheel. I thought we were going to die. It started kind of raining while we were up there. It was very terrifying. I am not usually super scared of heights, but like when I'm not buckled into something, yeah, it was a little terrifying. But look how pretty. It was worth it for the pretty views. But I did take a video like basically going all the way around, and this was that video. So this was a video going all the way. That was at the bottom, and we're at the top, and then we're coming back down. But it went really fast, honestly. And then I took another video from the back, going around the entire way. We're going up and then coming back down. But yeah, it was pretty scary, but it was worth it. And it was cool to do. I'd never seen a Ferris wheel at the zoo lights before, so this was a first for me. Yeah, like I said, it was really enjoyable, a little bit scary, albeit, but worth it. 10 out of 10. I would do it again, even though I was scared out of my wits. But yeah, that was our Ferris wheel experience, and on to more lights. They really did it up with the, swan lovers theme here. It was really cute. I think they called this area like Lover's Lane. It was adorable. Anyway, I am going to go ahead and insert the clips here very soon of the ice sculpture and the carving of the ice sculpture, because that was really stinking cool. But first, look how beautiful my city is. I say my city because I'm just so proud to live here. I love Chicago. Anyway, let me go ahead and I'm going to insert the clips here of the ice sculpture. David. Eventually they'll be doing like a live ice sculpture here with this big brick in the back. But for now, we can see one done, and then there's a little bird over there. But we have a Grinch. I wonder, what do you think that one's going to be back there?
Animal.
An animal. I mean, I'm sure it probably is. But beautiful. I wonder when they'll be doing it. Maybe at 8 o'clock? It was 7 when we got here. And boy, was I wrong. They started probably not 5 minutes after we took that clip. I saw the girl over on the side starting to get ready to do the carving. And so they work in a team of 2 whenever they're doing live sculpture carvings like this. And I'm just going to share with you the information and the knowledge that I gained from this amazing woman. She is an artist that works with this company creating ice sculptures. Both of the ladies that were sculpting this evening that we happened to be watching work for this company. The girl that we spoke to while this one was doing the carving was the one who actually made the Grinch sculpture that I showed you in the first clip. So super, super talented. I really just enjoyed talking with her and getting to know her. So I asked as many questions as I could think of to ask, just to share, everything with you guys. So what I have here, what she's doing here is, obviously carving into a gigantic brick of ice. One of the questions that I had at the very beginning was, how much does that brick of ice weigh before they start sculpting? And does anybody have any guesses? Like, we can throw those down in the comments, in the chat section down below if you're watching this live, or just, in your head if you're super curious. But I'll get to that here in just a second. But one of the other questions I had was, when they're actually carving these huge bricks of ice, you know, the ice itself is so amazingly clear. And, you know, when you freeze ice in your freezer at home, it comes out looking kind of white, I would say, you know, right? It's not completely translucent and transparent and crystal clear. So I asked her how that actually works. How do they get super crystal clear ice? And the way that they do that is by using some really filtered water, right? The water is perfectly pristine and filtered clear. And pause here for just a second. She did let us feel the piece of ice that had fallen off there. Anyway, so they use perfectly pure filtered water. And as that water is freezing, they actually have like plates within the like freezers where they're freezing these bricks. This is how I understood it anyway. They have plates in there that actually move and move that water around so that it doesn't get completely stagnant as it's freezing, and that's what helps it to stay clear. And then at the very end, they usually have a layer at the top that is like kind of that white ice that we're used to from our freezer that they actually shave off of the bricks before they start doing the carving. So I just thought that was really interesting. But this brick right here, for example, though, when they started out, are you ready for the answer, y'all? 300 pounds. That brick is 300 pounds. And those girls like hoisted that bad boy up there themselves. So another, question that I had was, what tools do they use to actually do all of the carving? And this was the crazy part to me. They literally use 10-inch chainsaws. And I mean, the chainsaw that you see here is just a run-of-the-mill 10-inch small chainsaw that you would find at, your local Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards type of store. So really cool. I thought that was really interesting. Like, it wasn't like necessarily a specialized tool. It wasn't anything that I couldn't just walk up and buy off of the street. It's just a regular chainsaw. So I did, take a few different clips here, and you can kind of start to see forming what she's creating here. If you can't see it already, you will soon, I promise. But really just stunning work. Later on, she uses almost like kind of a high-powered Dremel tool, like a hand tool. And that was really the only couple of tools I saw her use, that and like just a small like ice pick type chisel that she used to kind of create her initial outline of the picture that she wanted to sculpt. So really, really cool. I just, this is an art form that you don't really get to see very often. So I was just really impressed with it. So hopefully you can kind of see this coming together and see what she's creating here. But all around, just a really cool experience, and one that I'm really grateful for that I got to see and do. I will say they piqued my interest because they're in need of artists, and it's not that far away from where we live. And she was like, yeah, you can come down anytime and learn how to do this with a brick of ice. Like, we will teach you, and we always need artists. So I was like, do not tempt me to quit my day job, because I will. Like, sign me up. Sign me up. I'm quitting my day job. Anyway, so yeah, there you have it. There it is. And here you can see to her using that like larger high-powered Dremel tool to do some of the finer detailing and finer work. But amazing. So I did come back later here, and you can see it coming together. If you can't see it already, it is a penguin, and she is tending to her little baby penguin pup at the bottom. But I came back a little bit later to see the official finished product, and there it is. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm obsessed. So beautiful. We really enjoyed this experience, and I hope you learned something too. So there you have it. This is the end of Zoo Lights. I really hope you enjoyed hanging out with me for the experience. I will say every single year the Zoo Lights are different. Some years they are better than others, some years they're worse than others. But this particular year, let me just tell you, we had so much fun this year. Everything was just beautifully done, and we really loved it and enjoyed the experience. The lights were just they were just gorgeous this year. They did such a fantastic job. So that is it. That's it for Zoo Lights. Now, I did say that I would include a time lapse of us putting up our Christmas tree. And boy, did I. Yep, here it is. It was such a delight. Yeah, I hurt myself like 3 times. It was just, it was an experience. It's an experience. It always is. But there it is with our Harry Potter music playing. And then at some point, David tried to put up the star. Didn't really go as planned, so then I put it up. Yep, there it is. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with us for the Zoo Lights, and now for the final chapter of video, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to wrap some gifts, some oddly shaped ones, and a nice pretty box, just to give you some tips, tricks, and pointers for wrapping your gifts this Christmas. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I hope you enjoy the next segment as much as I did filming it, because I love wrapping presents. It's like my favorite part of the year. Love to wrap gifts. I don't know why, I just always have. Really enjoy doing that. But yeah, if you hate wrapping gifts, I'm so sorry, but maybe this will help you a little bit. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the Zoo Lights. You'll have to let me know what you think. Was that ice sculpture not the freaking coolest? Like, I can't. Anyway, I'll see you later. All right, you guys, so you have shared with me that a common pain point you have is wrapping gifts at Christmas time. And I happen to be pretty good at it, so I figured I would share with you how I wrap gifts. This is not saying this is the only way, but what you're gonna need is some paper, some tape, and some scissors. That is literally all you need. So I have here a pretty large gift. So the first thing I want to do is show you how I determine how much paper. So I could go this way, and I could make sure that my paper wraps around. But the better thing to actually do is to go sideways and see if this fits. So what I'm going to do is tilt this up on its side. So now I have the bottom measurement. I'm going to lay it down. And I am just really walking this thing across the paper to make sure that the width of this paper is going to be enough. And it is barely enough, but I think we're gonna do it. So from there, you just wanna cut a length that will cover both of the sides as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this one off. Got a hair in there, right about here. Another thing to do is to make sure you have a nice flat surface to do this on, because the last thing that you want to do is have a bunch of crinkles and lines in there. So what I'm going to do now, and like I said, this is just going to cover. It literally just matches. If I had wanted to do it a little bit tighter and a little neater, I would go ahead and fold this over and attach it here, but no need in this case. So we have a nice flat line here. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a couple pieces of tape. I'm gonna zoom you in here just a little bit further so you can see what I'm doing just a little bit better, because this is the easy part, right? Like, I like to use 3 pieces of tape here for a nice big gift like this. And I'm not sure if you saw what this gift is, but now I can't even say it out loud because it's actually a gift for my significant other, who just so happens to be right downstairs. So let me go ahead and zoom you in here. I'm gonna show you this edge of this, of the box, and I'll show you how to get nice, even, pretty corners on here, because that seems to be where everybody gets a little messed up. Okay, so now that I've got you zoomed in here, It's really very easy. All you need to do is press your side like this in and make sure that that side comes all the way down to meet your package here. And you want to create a nice fold here and a fold here. And then same thing on the top, where this inside piece meets the edge of your package, you just want to create a nice fold. See? So we're going to do the same thing on this side, pressing this piece in and making a nice fold right where the box meets the counter. And then same thing here, a nice fold here. From there, it's really very simple. All you do is fold this piece down and fold this piece up. Now we can make it a little neater. If you have some excess and you want to trim that, you can absolutely do that. The trimming does not need to be perfect, obviously. And then obviously this one's going to come up a little higher than our edge. So I'm going to fold that down and make a nice crease. And you should really only need one piece of tape. Holding that nice and tight. Did I get it? Hard to see from that angle. And that's it. And then you're going to repeat and do the same on the other side. So we go ahead and show you one more time, pressing both sides in. You just want to make sure that this comes to a nice angle down here and touches that completely before you make your crease here. Same for this one. You want to make sure that these two pieces are touching here. And crease, pressing in and crease. And again, down at the very bottom, making that crease. I'm going to trim this just a little bit, folding it down. And this one's going to come up over. I'm going to give it a quick fold so I have a nice clean edge. Grab one little piece of tape because I shouldn't need more than that. And hard for me to see from this angle, y'all. There it is. Woo! So now you have a beautifully wrapped gift. Now, what we want to do now, whoops, I'm making a mess over here. What we want to do now is add a bow to the top of this. But what if I don't have any pretty bows? Don't worry, I'll show you. Okay, we have our gift nicely wrapped here, and I've got some scraps, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with those. First, I have one that's about this size, and another one that's just slightly larger, right? And then I have one little tiny scrap here. So with the larger scrap, what you want to do is go ahead and fold that backwards in half. And then from your fold, you want a nice little line there. And then I'm going to come out and draw a nice big kind of semicircle, almost an oval, kind of like an eye. And then two more. See where we're at here? We're good? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut just inside those lines that I made so that they're not visible once I have cut. And you'll see why here in just a sec. So I'm just kind of using those, oops, mess. Using those as a guideline. Snip there. And then I'm going to do the same here, snipping just inside the line. And then using that semicircle as a guide. So now, setting all our little scraps aside, keeping this one. Now we've got this cute little bow tie looking shape. If you flip it inside out, I am going to take a piece of tape and just cut this in half lengthwise You'll see why here in just a second, because I need thinner pieces of tape for this. So I have 2 little pieces of this bow that I am just gonna attach on this center. So I need 1 little piece here, and then I'm gonna use 1 little piece here. Isn't that cute? But we're not done. So we have this cute little piece here that we can wrap around if we so choose. Adorable. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a little tiny piece of tape and secure that. And then I just want to make a little something that sits out to the edge of these, right? Like it'll be something underneath here that kind of comes out. Yeah. So I'm just gonna do, I don't know, I'm gonna do a little something. I'm just gonna kind of freehand this. Watch, it's gonna come out really ugly. No, I don't know, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know, that looks pretty cute to me. Okay, so then last thing is you can just adhere this to the package in 2 separate pieces, however you want. So now I have a little matching bow. I'm gonna bring my package up here so you can see. I'm just gonna put this right in the center of the package because that's where I want it, but you can put it wherever you want. So I'm gonna set that one there, and then I will just roll a piece of tape and stick it here. And voila, you have a matching bow. And I just think it's the cutest thing ever. Anyway, so that is how you can make a bow out of matching wrapping paper. And next up, I actually will show you how to make kind of a little gift bag out of wrapping paper for those odd shaped items. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to wrap something that is a little bit of an odd shape. And I'm going to show you how to do so with basically by making a gift bag. So what I've done here is I've made sure that I have the right amount of wrapping paper that will at least give me a nice base to the little gift bag I'm gonna make, and then a nice top above what I need. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut my wrapping paper here. One of the things I will note here is you want to use a wrapping paper that's a little sturdier if you have any. Regular wrapping paper works just fine too, but in this case, I like having a nice sturdy one because it just, everything comes together a little bit nicer. So you're not actually going to need all of this wrapping paper, but I'm going to cut us off here. I'm just kind of determining how much I'm gonna need. I think that this will be plenty. Love it when it's just so satisfying. Okay, so I'm gonna start with this piece of paper here, and we are gonna make a little gift bag to put around this. Okay, so first thing you wanna do, I went ahead and I took our gifts and moved them to the side. I'm gonna go ahead and fold this together like you would any other gift, basically. Just to where these 2 pieces are meeting, right? Just like this. Put the nice even side on the outside. I'm gonna give this a quick tape. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and give this a quick tape. And I am just taping along this edge a couple of times. Now what I want to do, so I have my bottom here. And what I want to do is find a way to make this bottom so that it's actually 3D. Basically so that it stands up on its end like that. So the way that I'm going to go about that is I'm going to first fold it up like this. And that'll be the middle of my base. Got myself turned around there. So I fold it up like this. That's going to be the middle of my base. And then I'm going to fold it the same way in the other direction, like so. So now I have a nice even fold here. And almost in the same fashion that you do your ends, you want to pull this up like so. And then fold these pieces into the middle, right? So I'll show you that one more time, just from the very beginning, and I'll show it to you from your standpoint here. So I fold it in half, and I fold it in half again. When you fold in half again, you can open this kind of like a little mouth, right? And then you want to create an opening here so that I can fold one half down and the other half down. And it almost makes the bottom of like a grocery bag, right? It's kind of that concept. So I'm going to give this a couple of good tapes here on the bottom because I don't want our bottom to fall out of our bag here. That would not be fun. Lots of good tape, because this is not the part that we are ripping into. Now you could put some cardboard in the bottom of this for some stability, but basically what you want to do is stand this upright and it creates a little bag. So obviously our bag is way too tall and we only need it to be about as tall as our item here. So I'm going to go ahead and get a little snip here just so I can get inside this bag a little easier. And now we've created a little 3-dimensional standing bag that you can put your goodies into. Alrighty, y'all, there you have it. Now you've got a nice little 3D bag that you can put your goodies into, and it just makes a nice little gift for somebody, and you didn't have to do too much to go crazy and wrap it. Say you didn't have a box to put that in, but yeah, there it is. But with that comes the end of my Christmas premiere. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me for an hour. I hope you have a really wonderful holiday season and a happy and healthy new year. And I just appreciate you hanging out with me for the hour that we got to hang out. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye.